teaching you cool things.
Oh, 1, 2.
So were we live here? It's Facebook. Hey everybody. We are going to be live here shortly. We're just finishing up the last of our tech.
Cool things.
I'm actually going to mute this. Okay. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. This is a podcast. Watching this recording, you might need to buffer ahead just a hair. If you're just joining, be patient. We're going to be doing a live Q&A, talking about giving away a bunch of free stuff. So bear with me for a few seconds while I get TikTok up and live. I can't remember how to do lives here. Do you remember how to do lives on TikTok? It's been a while. Everyone's probably like, y'all should know how to do this before you start doing it. Well, probably. Let's see. I think you do create. Where's the create button? Daniel, on TikTok. Oh, it's right here. It's the plus button. So then live's over there. Boom. Go live. 3, 2, 1. There you go. All right. We are live. Hello, everybody on Facebook. We got a couple people here. This is going to be a Q&A. So any questions you guys have, go ahead and type them in the chat box. I'm going to have to be able to, I'm just going to go like one question at a time. So if you guys have any questions in regards to real estate wholesaling, any questions about buying and holding real estate, any questions around real estate at all, I'd be happy to answer them. So the reason we're doing this live event on all these different platforms in front of me is because I'm launching my podcast, celebration of launching my podcast. I'm also giving away some awesome prizes, and I wanted to let more people know we're giving away a MacBook Air, iPad Air, and AirPods Pro, or the cash equivalent. If you don't like Apple, that's fine. You don't cash. Giveaway. Created a landing page for you guys to check it out. It is dfdmastery.com. Stands for driving for dollars, right? So dfdmastery.com. If you click on that link, it'll tell you how to enter to win. It's going to get you access to my podcast. You can leave a review, a few other things to be able to enter to win. So make sure you go do that. And Shane just chimed in here on YouTube. Congrats. Shane's a very successful student of mine out of Tampa. He's crushing it. Good to see you, Shane. I actually signed Shane up to come out, spend some time with me, and go over his business and even do some fishing with me. So it's going to be kind of fun seeing him out here soon. I got to meet him when I was out in Tampa this winter. So it's going to be good to see you again, Shane. Anyways, make sure you go in and enter to win. And then this real estate podcast is the tips, tricks, and strategies that's taken me from being a window cleaner to being a millionaire and doing real estate investing, helping other people get there. And the podcast, there's a few episodes already on there. There's going to be 2 episodes a week that'll be given. So you guys can listen to those podcasts. They're going to be conversations that I'm having with myself and with other successful real estate investors and wholesalers, many of them my students, and what they did and the exact steps that they followed to be successful. So you can just follow them or follow that advice and follow what you learn in there to be super successful. So I'm just producing free content because so the reason I'm going to give away is to create more traction and interest around the podcast so more people will see it. It's 100% free, and the giveaways are free. It's all for you guys. Okay. So let's dive into Q&A. If you guys have any questions about real estate investing, real estate wholesaling, driving for dollars, anything that you guys want to know, I would be happy to help you. So go ahead and chime in. Where's the chat box on this? This is going to be on this left side under comments. Okay. I've got nothing here. Do we got anything from TikTok? Oh, that's awesome. I think that was Rod said, congrats, Zach. Listen to the first 4 podcasts already and love them. That's awesome. Thank you so much for the support. They went out this morning. So I appreciate I don't know, probably 2 hours of your time to listen in. I hope you learned a ton. I hope it was super valuable. What was your favorite episode so far? I want to know. There was the first one's like 2 minutes long. Not that exciting. It's me telling you what the podcast is, but the next three are really one. Go ahead and chime in with questions you guys have. People that are joining as a Q&A podcast launch party. I'm going to be talking more about the podcast, but Joey said, I've seen you on Deal Machine. Awesome. But when you do your cold calling, are you using a different service? How do you get your leads and numbers out of Deal Machine and into your cold caller? Yeah. So when you cold call, you can hand dial, right? Numbers and call, but it takes forever to produce leads, right? It takes forever. And so they have dialing platforms for you that allow you to call more than one person at one time. There's lots of them. The one I'm currently using is called mojosells.com. I'm switching over, actually next week, we've been in beta testing. We're switching over to what's called Batch Leads. Could you like put that down so I could see sorry, it's called Batch Dialer is the cold calling platform we're switching to. But you can call multiple numbers at one time. You don't have to that's perfect. Then I can see the comments. Then you don't have to hand dial every single number that's in your list, right? You can call multiple people at one time. If someone answers when you're on the phone, it'll give a recording like, hello, I'll have to call you back. And then as soon as you hang up, it'll call them back. So we're using Mojo, and we buy our phone numbers from a company called Batch Leads as well, or Batch Skip Tracing. Sorry, if you want to. So if you use my code D as we're driving with Batch Skip Tracing, and then we cold call through Mojo. So we use Deal Machine to produce the list to market to, right? To find motivated sellers. We cold call using Mojo. We skip trace with Batch Leads. Hopefully that answered that question, but great questions. Got someone from Poland. Welcome. That's awesome. Someone said they saw me washing windows. So they're here from that content. I love it. I have, if you don't know this, guys, I used to be a window cleaner. I have a window cleaning video with like 13 million views. So that's kind of funny. Looks like we got another one. Is this from Instagram? Okay. So someone from Instagram, sorry, I don't know who you are, says, how much does your Driving for Dollars course go for? Yeah. So I guess I can tell you it's $5,000 to be a part of my program. There's a lot that comes with that. If you have any curiosity what the program, how it functions, how it's set up, how I can help you do a deal in the first 3-4 months you join the program, I'd be happy to talk to you about that. So all you got to do is go book a call if you want to know more about the program and like talk to me on the phone. Go to dfdmastery.com and just book a call. So it just says book a call. There's I think we want you to. So go to dfdmastery.com to check that out. Is this TikTok? Okay, someone from TikTok said, how do you know what areas to drive? Great question. So there's a handful of things that I have my students do, but I think one of the best things that you can do is find out what your median house price is. So that's not hard to do. So get into Google and type your city and put median house price, MEDIAN, I think, median. I don't even know how to spell, guys. It's embarrassing. I spell better in Portuguese because Portuguese makes more sense. But you got to find your median. My marketing guy's laughing at me. I don't even care. I'm not the smartest guy, I promise. It doesn't take the smartest guy to be successful in this business, I promise, as far as real estate wholesaling. So your median house price, once you find your median house price, then what I'll do is I'll pull up Zillow houses for sale in your market, and you want to drive areas where your median house price is lower than that. That's where I start. And then I start looking for areas where there's houses, at least 25% of the houses have deferred maintenance. So that's how I kind of start. There's other ways where you can get on the cash buyers list of other wholesalers and see where they're spitting deals out from. You can ask cash buyers, if you had money to spend on marketing, where would you go find deals? Those are the areas that I would start with. Hopefully that answered that question. We got more people here. We're doing this Q&A with all these different platforms. I'm sorry if I'm looking up or down. It's because I've got multiple devices here. We're doing a launch of my podcast. This is a celebration of my podcast launch that launched today. Go to dfdmastery.com/giveaway. We're giving away a MacBook Air, an iPad Air, an AirPods Pro for free, part of the giveaway. You can go if you go to that website, you learn how to enter to win. There's a bunch of different things. It goes off a point system. So if you'd like to go win, go do that. You can also check out that podcast. So we launched today. Super excited about it. The whole point of doing the giveaway is to promote the podcast. So make sure you guys go check that out. Let's dive into the next questions. Do I need a real estate license to wholesale? Well, I can't speak for every single state and the exact regulations, but the short answer is no, 100% you do not. I do not have a real estate license and I wholesale. I wholesale a lot. We have generated, some of you may have seen some of my content, we generated about $700,000 from wholesaling so far this year in 5 months. And I do not have a license. I'm doing this in 2 different states. So no, you do not need a license or real estate license to wholesale, but you do have to follow regulations on wholesaling and doing it the correct way. Okay, so there is a wrong way and there is a right way. Okay, we'll just say that. More questions. We have some more coming in here from YouTube. Perfect. I think it was Rod or Rob, different name here. I saw you comment on something today with Deal Machine, but you said you liked how, so he's talking about one of the podcast episodes, Wyatt Simon, being a part-time or full-time job and doing it on the side. He said he liked how Wyatt went from working a full-time job and used drive for his fixed household. So he's been able to have a massive amount of success, build a bunch of rentals, as well as doing wholesaling. But he's actually coming out to the live event as well in August. I'm excited to meet him in person. I've never met him in person. So Wyatt Simon, he's a good dude. So that's one of the podcast episodes that's been launched. There's a ton of them that are coming, guys. I've got a ton of people that I've talked to and have archived stuff. So it's a ton of valuable information. You don't have to be full-time to do this. I have many students. Winston is another example. Winston Wright was another one of the episodes that's been launched. An NFL and then youth pastor, and he loves being a youth pastor, but it's been able to go, just part-time, about 15 hours a week, doing real estate wholesaling. His first 6 months, he made like 50 grand. So pretty exciting stuff. You do not have to do this full time. Is it a lot of work? Do you have to work really hard to be successful? Yes, but it doesn't require, every second of every day to get started in this business. Platform. So we got someone else from Instagram says Realty Alina. Thank you for the question. Have you tested cards versus letters? Really tested different handwritten letters, like where I haven't tested them on scale or split tested, but I have split tested different postcards. So for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about as far as like split testing, I'm using lingo and I shouldn't. That was a mistake. So basically the question is, when I find some rundown ugly houses and then I reach out to them with a postcard or a letter, what works better? If I send like a nice hand printed professional looking letter, or if I send just like a little simple white postcard, what gets more interest? So I have learned that the honestly, or the letter does not matter as far as the different cards that I've tested. My response rate, meaning let's say I send 100 postcards, my response rate might change. One postcard might get me 2 responses. Another postcard might get me 0 responses. But what I've learned that my conversion, my profitability doesn't change from one postcard to the next. So far for this year, just in Utah, we made $170,000 from postcards. And I've spent about, let me give you the exact numbers. Okay. Let me pull up, just bear with me. I'm going to give you exact numbers, so I'm not just blowing smoke. Okay. Let me pull up my actual numbers here. I don't want to be that guy. It's like, yeah, I've made all this money, and it's a complete lie. So let me pull up, I would give you a rough estimate, but since I'm being recorded, I can be perfectly accurate here. It doesn't believe that this computer is loading. Well, that's not going to let me do that while I'm on the live. So I'm going to have to just give you rough numbers. It's about 170,000. I've spent, give or take 2 or 3 grand. I've spent about 15,000. I think it's like 12 grand that I've spent on postcards to make 170. But regardless, it's really profitable. My response rate, meaning the people that actually reach out to the postcards, is less than 0.02%. So it's less than 0.5%. So that means that off of 100 postcards that go out, I don't even have a half of a person that even responds to those letters, but I've made a ridiculous return on my money, right? So as far as like the postcard quality, all that happens is if you have a more attractive postcard or a picture of the house on the postcard or a picture of yourself in front of the house, there's lots of different things you can do, creative things. All you're going to get is more people that are mad. All you're going to get is more people to say, go die, I hate you, why are you sending postcards, right? But really, it's not going to change much as far as like how much money you're going to make. It's just going to bog you down with leads and angry people. So I'd rather have less response and the same conversion, right? So then I'm only spending time with quality people. For example, we had like 80% of the leads that came in from my postcards, 80% of the leads that came in for my postcards ended up an appointment, and our conversions were like 30, 40%. So our conversions are through the roof on postcards. It's almost double versus cold calling or even texting or any of our other outreach strategies. Just dumped a whole bunch of data on you guys. You're probably gonna have to like want to go back and rewatch this or rewind that. Let's see. Here's one. I like this one. How do you wholesale a property with renters in the house? So if you guys don't know what real estate wholesaling is, we find a house that someone wants to sell quickly, right? We put the house under contract. So me and the seller, let's say I'm the buyer, right? Because I signed an agreement with the seller to sell it to me. So now we have an agreement to buy and sell the property. Let's say the purchase price is $100,000. Well, let's say that's at a massive discount. Well, if I have basically a paragraph in there that allows me to assign that contract to someone else, I can sell it. I can sell the contract, right? I can sell my interest in the deal. So then I go to a flipper or a buy and hold investor and I say, okay, I'm going to sell you this contract for $10,000. You're going to pay $100,000 as a seller. I'm going to get my $10,000 and you're going to get the house. So you make $10,000 assigning a contract. Here in Utah, I make $30,000 per wholesale deal. And in Florida, it's roughly $18,000. So it's extremely profitable. There's no risk. You don't have to have a ton of money to do the deals. But the question that just came in is like, okay, so once you find a house that's under contract, what if there's a tenant in place? What if someone's renting the house? What do I do? And the answer is, well, it depends on what your end buyer wants to do. So sometimes your end buyer says, I want to buy the house. I'm fine if they're in there. Or I need them out. And that's something you need to deal with in between the close of the paperwork. So once you get the deal under contract and you find a buyer, sometimes there's stuff that needs to be done. We just got a 30% battery thing. It shut off our live here on TikTok. So just pull it out. See it? Sorry, guys. I'm sure there's a tech that allows you to be live on one computer on all your different platforms, but require. There we go. We're live. Yeah, so it depends on the situation. There's lots of different strategies, and sometimes it's case by case basis. I don't want to overwhelm you with information, but there's something called an escrow holdback where you can cash out on the deal before the tenants are ever out. That usually works with the people that are living in the house are the homeowners or family or relatives of the homeowners, not actual tenants. If the tenant's in place, sometimes and they have like a lease where they have the right to stay in the house for another 6 months, but we need them out today or within 30 days or 20 days to be able to close the deal. We'll go directly to the tenant and we say, hey, listen, we understand you have a lease. You can stay here for 6 months, but would you rather take some cash and move on? Because you're going to need to move on anyways. You can move on in 6 months and not get anything, or you can move on now, not worry about cleaning up the house or anything. We'll give you your deposit back and another couple $1,000 so we can get the deal done. And a lot of times that'll work. So it just depends on the situation. But yeah, it's sometimes one of the things you got to work with on these deals, right? You're making it convenient and easy for the seller and the buyer. So a lot of times you're the in-between guy solving problems. Did you send me another one? Nope. Okay, I've got more here on YouTube. Do we have... Aaron Gaunt posted on Facebook. He said, I cry when I get angry postcard responses. That's not true. Aaron's a rock star. He was a fireman, a single dad fireman turned rock star wholesaler in Southern California, where it's too competitive and you can't do deals, right? Right, Aaron? But him and his fiance, Michaela, are absolutely crushing it. I've actually had the privilege of coaching them one-on-one for about 7 months to build out their business. They're doing amazing, amazing things. If you guys are in Southern California, you need to reach out to Aaron Gaunt and say hi. He's doing amazing thing. They actually invite marry them next spring. So I got to go get my license to be able to marry people in Southern California and go do that, which is super, super fun. I'm super excited. Well, such an honor. Okay, here we go. Let's keep going. Before we do, remember this is for the giveaway. Go to dfdmastery.com/giveaway to get access to the MacBook Air, iPad Air, and AirPods Pro, and follow those things. Follow us on our new podcast. Okay, so let's keep going into Q&A. Probably only going to go another 10 minutes here. So if you guys have questions, chime them in here. Let's see which one next. Do you market to your list owner occupied, absentee owner, corporate the same, or does it vary? Great question. Yes, I do. So in my, I don't market like lists that I buy from PropStream. I don't market to tax delinquent. I don't market to these generic lists. So most real estate wholesalers, if you guys aren't familiar with this process, they're trying to find someone that wants speed and convenience. They're trying to find someone that wants a pawn shop for their house. So they pull these lists or buy lists to then market to them. And they're oversaturated. Everyone's pulling the same exact list and doing the exact same thing. What's made me extremely successful is we actually drive around and find ugly houses in our market. We have a system. That's what I teach, right? We're adding 2,000 properties a week just in Utah with one person. Same thing with Florida. So I'm marketing to that many properties. You don't have to start that big. But the question was, okay, what about absentee owner, corporate owned? So houses adding to our list, some of them owned, some of them are owned under an LLC or a trust. Some of them are owned by the people, right? In people's name, owner occupied. Some of them are owned absentee. It's owned by the name of a person, but the mailing address and the property address is different on the tax information, right? Or there is what was the other one? Oh, we create another list, which is like the really bad houses, the abandoned, vacant. So we have 4 different lists that we break up from our Driving for Dollars list, and we track them each separately. But we text, cold call, and postcard all those lists. But yes, we track them separately, but it's all a Driving for Dollars list. That's where we make 80% of our money truly is from Driving for Dollars, and that's it. So it's Rob's the one that's been chiming in. I appreciate your support, Rob. Hey, Rob, have we jumped on a call? Because if we haven't, you've been watching a lot of this content. I'd love to talk to you about the program. So make sure you go to dfdmastery.com and book a call with me. I'd love to talk to you. Oh, you brought me this one. I might pronounce this wrong. I think it's Adam Olpen said, what's the best way to approach in a super hot market like Northern Utah? Well, I'm in Northern Utah. My office is in Layton. So you're probably close. You're probably in Weber County or Box Elder County or one of those counties north where I'm at. That's what I had to do. Utah is probably one of them in the country, probably argue one of the hardest to do this in. That's why I do Driving for Dollars. We just had Adam Stevens is another student in Utah that just did his first deal. I think it was a $50,000 deal, 50 plus, like $55,000 profit deal. He just did that here in Utah, did it through Driving for Dollars. There's plenty of deals to be had. You definitely got to work for them though. But yeah, I mean, you do one deal and that's pretty life-changing for most people. So yeah, it can be done. That's why you do Driving for Dollars. That's the whole reason I'm successful. That's why my students are successful, is doing Driving for Dollars, especially the system that I teach. But great question. Yeah, lead generations. I'm doing some radio. So someone asked like if I'm doing other marketing strategies besides Driving for Dollars. Like I said, it's like 80% of my marketing. I do some radio. I just got my first online deal. Yeah, but that's it. Just really Driving for Dollars. I'm just starting to scale out other marketing channels in these two markets, but there's, we're on track to do 1.5 million this year from wholesaling. 80% of that should be from Driving for Dollars, if not more. Yeah, we're on track to do 1.5 million, and I just increased my marketing expense by 25%. So I really feel confident we'll hit 2 million. Just what I think we'll do this year. Let's see. What kind of call rotations do you have for your cold calling list? We basically just make 3 attempts to the cold calling list. Once we've tried to contact them 3 times, we then just send a postcard. Did you give me another one? Okay. Best times to cold call. Great question. So I prefer mornings and evenings and weekends. It's when you get the highest response rate, right? Because you got to realize the more time you're on the phone with homeowners, the more likely you are going to produce leads. So if you guys have questions on like, what does it look like to get into wholesaling? If I have a small budget and want to get started, I did content on the YouTube channel. Most of you here on YouTube, you know this. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. You guys need to watch my YouTube channel, the 40 grand in 40-day challenge. The whole purpose of this is to show you what it's like to get started. If you only have $1,000, how do you make 40 days doing this? Just to start, right? And I went to Florida, took $1,000 and I blew that out of the water. We did about $95,000 in income in 40 days, just with that $1,000. I say we, but I did that alone. I had my camera guy follow me and share that on my YouTube channel. It's all free. So make sure you guys go watch that. Sorry, I had a call coming in. How much do you pay your drivers? This is gonna be the last question. How much do you pay your drivers? We pay them hourly plus bonuses. So when I first started, I started paying commissions, and that was a cool way to get started because I didn't have a budget to pay people. I was broke, pretty rough. But I did a few deals and I overpaid them by a lot. Compared to paying them, if I would have, in the first 6 months of doing this, if I was paying 20% commissions, and I calculated it, if I would have paid those same drivers hourly, $20 an hour, plus $100 per deal, plus paying for their gas, I would have kept another $60,000 in my pocket in those first 6 months. So did I make a ton of money? Sure. But I would have made way more if I would have just paid hourly. So paying hourly also creates more consistency with your drivers. That's huge. Yeah. So that's what I've got going on. I'm gonna end it here. I'm gonna end by just talking about the podcast really quick. The whole purpose of the podcast is to give you guys actionable steps. if you guys want to, figure this stuff out, you can watch my free content and learn how to do this. And that was the whole purpose of it. I want to serve you. I want to help you. I want to produce content that'll live on long after I die. And, I hope my children and my grandchildren and my great-grandchildren watch this content, learn and grow, and are blessed by it, and everyone else that participates as well. That's the whole reason of the podcast, is to serve you guys and help you guys. I'm doing the giveaway, right? I'm giving away those three things, are the cash equivalent. So the MacBook Air, iPad Air, and AirPods Pro. So make sure you go to DFD Mastery. I got something in my eye. DFDmastery.com giveaway to enter. There's multiple ways to enter to win. So make sure you guys go do that right now so you don't forget. And also, if you guys want to learn more about getting access to me as a coach and talking to me and getting access to the step-by-step modules on how to implement teaching, what I teach and all those things to speed up your process of being successful, I'd be happy to talk to you guys. Just go to dfdmastery.com and book a call. So dfdmastery.com and book a call with me, and I'd be happy to talk to you guys. Anyways, thank you so very much for joining me. Thank you so much for the support around the past and everything else. Truly, it's been incredible. It's incredible the amount of support that we've already gotten so far. It's the first day of launch, and we've had just a ton of support. So thank you guys so much, and everyone that's participated and left reviews and everything else on the podcast and listened. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoy the content, and I promise more to come. Stay tuned. I'd support and help you guys. Anyways, God bless. We'll talk to you guys all soon.